Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is F1 2018, and this is the Manager mode. It's a specific challenge mode, but it's week 46 of the Gaming Decathlon competition, and we're going to continue on at our fast-paced series here. Target is 3 races for every episode. This is the results from the end of last episode. We now have just under 700. And you can see that my reputation with the team is quite low. And of course that has to do with the circumstances of the playthrough. So at this point, it's all about keeping that job, and so far, so good on that matter.
Invitations to new historic events.
We're going to go ahead and move on to next weekend. Not doing the historic events. But we head to Russia. To Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix. Okay. And here's our development update. No updates this week. So no upgrades for us or for Williams. Toro Rosso, though, over the last 2 weeks, huge upgrades to not only keep pace with us, but now pass us up. Meanwhile, McLaren hasn't made any updates for the last couple weeks either, so they remain relatively close to us.
Here we are at the fascinating Sochi Autodrome in Russia for what is expected to be a compelling race weekend. Well, it all begins today with practice.
Oh, that's the last one that I've got saved, huh? Well, alrighty then. From here on out, we're going to have to just kind of guess our way through it. Alright, so we're in Sochi. We're going to go straight into the track climatization program and right onto that flying lap as per the rules of this challenge. If you have not seen this series before, be sure to check out the other episodes, but everything is pretty easy to follow on what the rule set are. Wow, this is really hard to turn. Really hard to turn compared to my other career mode. Yeah, I'm having a hard time making it through corners here. Alright, well, track program underway. That's close. So oh, I made that. I thought I made that. That's gonna hurt. Now we're looking at green, not purple. But as hard as the time I'm having with some of these corners here. Looking at probably green anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but I would have liked to have still been in contention for purple. Oh, come on. Massive oversteer there. Set me off, and we're now only in the... Whoa, come on. Need to hit the last few corners as we are a bit short on points, even for green.
slow in these corners.
Did I just miss it by 10 points? I didn't even get green. I didn't even get green. Wow. That was rough. One of those reds I thought I hit. And I'm really struggling with the balance here compared to the setup that I had for Williams in my career there. And this car should be as good, if not better than that one.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 44.0.
I'm going to get any points at all. This is going to be difficult. If you haven't seen the series, so I get 3 flying laps in practice. That's it. That's the rules. That was 1. So I only get 2 more. So my chance to earn points is pretty limited. And in terms of pace, this car is difficult to drive. I'm not sure I'm going to get very good pace. Why don't I try fuel management? Or go straight to ERS. Let's do the ERS. And then I might go back to track acclimatization for the other one. We'll see how this goes, what kind of pace I have in this car, and whether it's capable of getting any of these completed. But it's having a real hard time getting through the corners with any kind of pace at all. Really fighting it, getting a lot of understeer. Turn that down to low for the time being to see if we can't get that up. Plus 4/10, or at least I was last time I looked up, but right now I'm kind of locked in. Fighting the corners, trying to keep it tight, see where I can make up time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're hovering into purple, we're 8/10 up, so we'll be able to get this. Now the big question is then, should I use my last lap on, like, say, qualifying pace? Could I possibly get purple there? Ooh, I'm down to 2.5 here. I lost time. Where did I lose so much time? I had one bad corner. I couldn't have lost half a second on that one corner, though. Alright, well, I'm back up to 4/10 to the good. I think I'm going to do qualifying, not the acclimatization, because this car really, really struggles through the corners, but I'm still finding a way to get a good time, but it's just, I'm fighting it, which means I'm not going to hit those apexes perfectly. And there's purple. Wow, P2 so far, and I'm... Okay, yeah. So I can make up a good time. It's just... It's a fight. Pace-wise, I'm okay. It's just, it's a fight. So there's 100 points. That was big. So we're going to do the qualifying pace for the other hot lap. It's unfortunate that I've missed out on so many points on that track acclimatization, but especially at least getting 50 for going green. Literally just that smallest of margins. Especially with one of those corners, I was absolutely certain that I hit it. I didn't hit it cleanly, but I hit it. It wasn't going to be a purple corner, but it should have been a green corner, I thought. But hey, it is what it is. Here we are. Work with what we got. Alright, already a 10th to the good. And slowly gaining a little bit more, almost 2/10 to the good now. Lost a 10th. A little too much on the brakes there. A little too slow. Come on. Now I'm down by 2/10. Again with braking too hard. Looks like the expectations for qualifying are quite high, and this car is just not quite there. 3/10 down just for green. And that was a really good corner, and I gained not even a tenth. Another good corner there where I didn't lose much pace, but I'm still 2/10 down. I'm really fighting this car just to get even a mediocre time. Oh, and there goes the wing. There goes the wing. And that, yeah, I can't turn now. I'm getting massive understeer. I was getting understeer in the first place. I can't afford any loss of wing. The end of that straight where that hard left curve comes in is so hard in these lower cars to control through there. I usually let off a little bit, but I was 2/10 of a second down. Couldn't afford to let off, so I had to fight through it to gain time. Didn't gain time. We end up losing entirely. Alright, well, that is practice done with only 100 points picked up. That is not good. Not good at all.
Car repairs have set us back a little.
An interesting practice session there then.
Leclerc was up in P8 on his time. Alright, so we pick up a decent amount of points, despite how poorly things went, but 165 is still not a whole lot. Team reputation at least stays stationary. And with that, we move on to qualifying. Again, with the rules, this is one-shot qualifying. Check those messages. It's dry. We're at 9:27. Saving up some points for the time being. We'll see where we're at here momentarily. So again, one-shot qualifying. I'm fighting the car here. It's not comfortable. But I think I could compare relatively well to some of the cars.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip.
Right, let's get to it. So, Hypersofts, of course. No time to mess with the setup, so we're gonna jump right to it. And here we go. Alright, so good pace so far. We're not losing any ground. Still near the front so far, so haven't lost time yet. Heading into turn 4, still up there with the best, and still had some trouble there with turn 4, so that was good. Still making good time. Still right here with the Ferrari for best time. That time I did lift just a little bit beforehand. Got through clean. That actually wasn't the best sequence, yet still, somehow I'm at the top. There it is. What did I do? Best seat in the house?
Good job, mate.
Best seat in
Well
the
done.
first place!
Fantastic drive.
Pole! Woo! And that was not a perfect lap.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. The Professor, Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Alright, so pole position, that's going to be 5 points picked up in the Gaming Decathlon. And let's see if, for a change, this can translate into a good performance in the race. Leclerc's in 13th, so can I get my first ever top 10? I know I'm not going to be in the top 6 or anything like that. That's not going to happen. But will the race simulation finally do me a little bit of justice and not have me finish in last place after qualifying near the top? Every time that I've had a top 7, 8 qualifying position, I've ended up right down in the bottom of the final standings. Will it be different this time? Will it finally be different? I'm not in that rookie status anymore. I have moved up a bit. 150 points for that. That's excellent. Over 1,000 now. Team's got to be happy with that one. Huge jump. Look at that. Williams loves me. Sauber, well, they like me a little bit now. Alright, they hate me a little less anyway. And there you go. See, we're halfway out of rookie. That's got to affect my AI, I would think.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
Yeah, you think? Thanks.
I've been in touch with some contacts at Williams, and they think your attitude and results might be a good fit for their team. We can talk to them at our next contract review if you're interested. Let's see what kind of offer they can put on the table. As you know, your most important rival is generally your teammate. And frankly, you look like you're second best at the moment. That's not a comfortable position for either of us. It's much harder to negotiate on your behalf if you're performing like a number 2 driver.
Okay, so aero and chassis both being affected. I've already covered our 2 chassis changes for next season. I need to get these aero covered as well. So it's going to cost me 500 each, 500 and 510, and a 270 to get these adapted, which is already more than what I have now. But let's go ahead and get these parts adapted. Set myself up for next season. This could be a big boost as I go forward, as other teams are likely to lose some of these upgrades. So that's one left to cover here before the end of the season in the aero department. And then we'll probably turn our focus to powertrain for the rest of this season, so I don't have to recommit any more points. Or I might even do a factory upgrade, as I have none at this point, and those aren't affected by resets. Alright, so as always, simulate the race. This is the challenge mode. This manager mode, it's about managing the team. And no, I do not hang on to the top 10.
For Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the
So
driver
Vettel
of the
finishes
day then,
4th,
Anthony
but
Davidson.
moves
Who would
ahead
you go
of
for?
Hamilton.
Fernando Alonso.
Further.
Wherever he is, whatever team he's in, when is he not just brilliant? He'll give you a
And I
performance
still finished
every
18th.
time, just like he's done today.
You
On
kidding
to
me?
the constructors then. The lead
Regular
at the top
two-stopper.
comes down after a strong weekend
Qualify
from the
first.
challenging pack.
I think
It was
the
also a
AI would
strong Grand Prix from
be
Haas
a
F1
little
this
better than
weekend.
that.
Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
AI really does not like me. Alright, so Vettel is 70 points clear of Hamilton, picking up 2 more points today. Ferrari 82 points ahead of Mercedes, so Ferrari looking really, really strong this year, really dominant. I at least picked up 5 points with the pole position, which was awesome. But I still end up way down in P18. No wonder I'm losing rivalries. slower laps, lower positions, even after I started on pole. $31 points is all we get for the race. And we don't finish 15th or better, so we miss out on those points. That was our best chance at finally hitting one of those marks. And here we are again with the team going right back into hating me some more. And just in time for a new contract, the team hates my guts. Great job, AI. Great job.
It's time for us to renegotiate your contract. Here you can see the current deal. Once negotiations begin, the team will make you an offer. You can accept if you like, but I strongly suggest we push for better terms.
Okay, I can do without these others. Let's see what happens here.
Okay,
Oh,
the proposal looks good.
That's actually pretty
It
easy.
seems all parties are happy with the deal, so it'll commence at the next race weekend.
All right, so 1919, that'll help me boost up any higher qualifying, any higher race will really boost my reputation with the team, and then maybe I could start going for some better contracts. But team goal is down to easy, so it should be easily attained. Hopefully, at some point, I'll actually get an attainable team goal because those have been absolutely killing me here lately. And with that, we move on to the next race weekend. A little behind pace here as we head to Japan, the only figure 8 in Formula 1. All right, resource points 400 for what? Score 2 championship points. This is supposed to be an easy goal. You remember that, right? I have 0 career points. I've never finished higher than what? 15th? 16th? How is that an easy goal? Ridiculous. That would be a very hard goal. I was just on pole in Sochi and still finished 18th.
Welcome to Suzuka in Japan, where today's practice session is about to begin on this figure-of-8 circuit. The Suzuka track never disappoints, and that's probably why it's so loved by drivers and fans alike.
And this is a tough course.
One of the more intimidating corners on any Formula One track is the legend...
I don't have a setup to use, so I'm going to have to use the generic setup because my career... I haven't gotten here yet. It's actually my next race in my career, Williams' career, so I don't have a saved setup. But B, it's got this rhythm section where you need a steering wheel, and I'm actually going to get one soon. I'm getting a steering wheel, but I haven't ordered it yet, so it hasn't arrived yet. So the next few episodes are going to still be on the
I know
gamepad.
it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can.
But that rhythm section, that left, right, on a gamepad is made so much harder. So Silverstone, Japan, US are all difficult. Oh gosh, look how much pace I lost there. Ooh! Ooh, I just pulled a Verstappen. Am I gonna get it? Whoa! I almost crashed there. Having this much trouble with control coming out of the final turn. Oh man. I'm just fighting to control this car period right now. We might go for the green approach here, or just crash. Well. Okay, told you this section was going to be difficult for me. I can't even make it through the the last quarter of the rhythm section. That's awesome. So I'm well on my way to failed attempt here. Gosh, I'm all over the place. I've been here since the F1 2017 game, so that's part of it, but it really shouldn't be this bad. I know this track. If I can keep this up through the end, I've still got a chance at green, even though I had those 3 reds, because I've been consistent. Oh no!
That looked bad. Are you alright?
Wow.
Let me know you're alright.
I told you, these high-speed corners where you're not 100% are really hard on
As all
the
cars
gamepad,
are now over
where
the
you're
line, your top 3 again
feathering
are Hamilton,
a small
Vettel,
joystick.
and Kimi Räikkönen.
are
Thank
so
you for
much
joining
harder.
us for free practice
And I
today.
caught the curb
We'll be back with
there.
more Formula One action very
And
shortly.
off I went. Alright, well that is one flying lap.
Bad luck out there today. What do you think went wrong?
I just told you what
Can you
went
walk me
wrong,
through
but
what went wrong out there?
is that going to be, let's see, I think my suspension felt something wore out. I'm not sure what. Suspension, yeah, chassis department, they're not getting any more work
How do you
this
feel the
season anyway.
competition is for you this season?
All the drivers at their best. There goes sportsmanship.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Thank you, Claire. Okay, so we're gonna have to head to free practice session number 2 for my other 2 flying laps, and I am not gonna touch that track acclimatization program, as I was clearly all over the place. I'm gonna have trouble getting any points here at all at Suzuka. This is a track beyond me without adjusting setup, and that hurts. That really hurts. Okay.
I'm glad you're not hurt, but that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'll try to keep the car in one piece on these next 2 laps. Alright, let's go with ERS. Here's that danger spot. This time I got off the gas a little bit just because, but I'm not going to be able to do that on a flying lap. And here's that same problem again. I'm going to have to brake sooner. The brake point that they have assigned to me, I went a little earlier this time and still slid through there, so... Alright, so we've got some ERS management. And losing traction here, that's not helping. Getting some oversteer. I'm not hitting the rhythm very well. I'm 0.6 of a second down already. Gained a little time through the last couple of corners of the rhythm section. Got back to 0.5 of a second, but here's where Vettel ruined his race day. Oh, no, it wasn't that one. It was entering Spoon, wasn't it? Hey, I'm back in the green. Was back in green. Alright, so I have to turn the ERS to get it up to green. Oops, hello. That was better this time. Okay, I'm in the green now. Oh, and I broke late. I slid through. Ooh, I lost 0.6 of a second through there? Wow.
That lap was too slow. You need to
Alright, here's what we're gonna do.
Properly utilize your PRS modes.
This is my third lap. I'm gonna try this again. This is my best chance, really. There's no other mode. Alright, 2 seconds to the good. Almost in the green here. Alright, coming up on Spoon. I lost a little time here last time. Whoa, whoa. Oh, come on, come on! Wow, that was such a hard recovery. Rear end went out, got the oversteer, tried to drive out of it, and it didn't. It just never came back. It never came back together all the way across the track. And there goes my lap. All I can do now is prepare for qualifying.
Is too slow.
Okay, that is a failed practice. I think I might have to lower the AI difficulty for myself entering season number 2 for this series a little bit. I think I'm set to an 80. I might need to make it a 75 as I'm not completing enough practice programs and I'm barely surviving. I wanted to make it a challenge, but
so far our fastest
I'm
lap is
throwing up stinkers one after another, aren't I? Alright, well, we're going to move on to qualifying. The team's not going to be happy here.
The end of the session, then. Here are your
Leclerc
top
11.
3. Hamilton, Vettel.
I barely even got a lap time, period. Some of it's the car. I mean, the setup was part of that, but I'm clearly not up to this level with just stepping into a car and going without doing lots of practice laps, finishing all the practice programs before I ever get to qualifying and a race weekend, as you would normally in career mode. So here goes that team rep, dropping lower. And we're going to move on to one-shot qualifying, where I'm going to struggle even just to get to 19th. Which, fortunately for me, team objective is 19th in qualifying, 19th on race day. And I have an easy goal that's...
Welcome to Japan and the impressive
There's nothing
Suzuka
easy
track
about it.
for today's qualifying session, where we should be underway shortly. This is a track...
It eats tires for rear tires for breakfast. Yes, yes. I say that about 80% of the tracks. They really need to fix that commentary and not use that at every track. Oh, look at that! Hamilton just pulling away from me here. Ooh, way wide. Decent enough recovery though. Ooh, too much curb. Lucky to save it as I did. I still lost more time though, and I'm probably too far back already. And now I am. And there's a last place qualifying. Remember, this is one shot, so I cannot just head back to the pits and put on a new wing, put on a fresh set of tires, and try to put in a lap. That was it. So I just ruined my run, which no surprise there, as on this occasion I think the AI is going to do better than me, as this is now maybe the second or third track that I've had this much trouble with. 20th.
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
Alright. A very disappointing
So
race
qualifying
weekend.
is complete
Kind
and
of
we're
glad
all
it's
set
done.
for an
Charles Leclerc
exciting race
in
tomorrow.
11th.
Your top three
He's
are
definitely the
Bottas,
team's hope,
Raikkonen,
as he's got a
and
chance at
Sebastian
finishing
Vettel.
in the top
Grid is
10.
set
Bottas,
then, so that
Raikkonen, and
just leaves
Vettel
the
on
race
top.
itself. Join us tomorrow. Well,
And let's get this race weekend over with and move on. That was actually the most points I got all weekend. 80 points, 294. Team rep at least didn't lower any further.
Obviously, I expected a better session, but these things happen.
And let's get this race weekend done. I need to move on and get away from
and
Sochi.
now let's take a look at the drivers.
Leclerc finishes
The lead at the
13th, so he
top has
doesn't
come
pick up any
down after
points.
a poor result for our points leader. And now I'd
And
like
I
to
finished
ask you,
P19.
Anthony Davidson,
I at least
who was your driver
beat
of
out
the day?
Srock and
I think I'm going to give it to Daniel Ricciardo. He's come through the field so well today, you know. Well deserved.
And here's how things are
Hamilton
shaping
from
up in
5th gets the win.
Constructors'
Bottas,
Championship.
Raikkonen,
It was a
Vettel,
tough race for our
Verstappen, and
championship leaders who
Ricardo,
lose ground
who
at the
started
top of the
P16.
table. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season.
Leads
Hope
down
you
to
can join us at the
57
next race to
points
see just
for
who will come
Hamilton.
out on top.
Just a few races to go, so this is a reversal of real life. Raikkonen, Bottas, next best, and they are pretty close there, along with Ricardo, Verstappen, all pretty close for the fight for P3. But in the constructors, 66 points to the good, so Ferrari looking pretty likely to win both this season. Alright, well, now I'm really hurting in the rivalries this session. And we're to an even 400 now, and that actually boosted the team rep, even though we finished in 19th. Pushed us a little closer towards veteran, so that's all
We've
good.
received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before.
And we move to USA. This is another one of those with that big rhythm section in the first sector that is really tough to drive on the gamepad. Looks like it's going to be dry.
I've been in touch with some contacts at Williams, and they
Yeah,
think your
Williams
attitude and
likes me.
results might be a
I'm
good
not
fit for
leaving
their
Williams,
team.
or not leaving
We can
for
talk to them
Williams.
at our next contract review if you're interested. Let's see what kind of offer they can put on the table.
Alright, there we go. Last part, fully adapted, ready to go for next season, so I'm not losing any of the upgrades that I've made thus far for next season. So where the car is now is where it will be. Hopefully the other cars will see a bit of a drop, and that will help us gain some ground. But in the meantime, we're going to turn our focus to the powertrain for the rest of the season. It looks like it's going to take 549 points for whichever of those three upgrades I choose to get anything else done this season as we approach the end of it.
The lights are about to turn green here in Austin, so we should start to see the cars take to the track. Welcome to today's practice session at the United States Grand Prix. Now then, Anthony Davidson, we've had some really strategic races over the past couple of years, thanks to the current three-tyre compound system, and of course the groundwork for all those strategies comes from the free practice sessions like this.
In real life, the race was actually really exciting this year. You know what? Track acclimatization has not been a very good first program. I'm going to jump straight into ERS management and see what I can do. It's a little harder going flat out, though, as you try to get used to the track. Again, I haven't been on this one for 2018 yet. All of these final tracks here on the season. Haven't had a chance to race them yet. Towards the final corner. It's important to get a good run off this corner. I think that's a decent time. Yes, we're gaining some time here. Sounds like the car is actually having a little rattle. I might check out where we're at here. Alright, here's where things are going to get tricky for me. Not so bad, actually. Final corner coming out of there, and 3/10 to the good. Half a second to the good. Down the long straight, we're picking up lots of bonus towards purple. Losing a little time, I lost about 1/10 of a second by not using the ERS, but that's pretty minimal, and it gained me a lot towards that potential of purple if I can keep the time up. Alright, purple, we did it. We did it. Alright. Hey, I got a purple at the US, which is a tough course for me. That was a good lap. It really helped that I did well through that first sector, that rhythm, that back and forth. Wasn't so bad. And I actually made a couple of mistakes in places that I wouldn't normally make mistakes, including the final corner, but luckily I had enough time to spare to cover off. Let's try
At some point
fuel
before
management.
qualifying, let's get our track acclimatization program complete. It'll help us identify any specific problem areas on the circuit.
I already know my specific problem areas. Alright, starting with good pace, so we're already making up time here. Got off the gas a good bit there, so we're at least in the green for now. A lot of coasting through there, which hurt on the time. It actually hurt a lot more than I thought. Ooh, when I get wide there, I'm over a second slow. Oh, this is not good. I was looking at the fuel consumption part, and we were good on that. A little late on the brakes, missed the apex, but still get around the corner all right. But I'm a second and a half down. I'm making that up. And here we are, bad on fuel wear again. You can see just driving straight is costing me time. I was way too tight to the apex in the first place. Massive oversteer. Quick recovery, but got a little more oversteer there, and I'm all over the place. I did not make up any of that time. In fact, I lost more through there, pushing too hard. There's the one area where I've made up some time. I just made up 0.3 of a second. Whoa, here we go with the oversteer again. Not going to be good for qualifying. I need to watch these and not push them too hard like I've been doing on this lap, on this back half of the lap anyway. I ended up getting right back to a 1.5 seconds. Do I want to run that again? This car is so bad on fuel consumption. I mean, you can see that it just drains away.
Fastest lap is a 1 minute 39.
So letting off in the corners still doesn't do much good. So I'm going to try qualified pace for my final lap. Something a little different. Okay, and these are hard to get with the AI difficulty set as high as it is when it's kind of right where I'm at for just stepping into a car. This one and the qualified itself tend to be a bit of a struggle. And I'm hearing that rattle. I think I need to get the engine checked. That it might be time to put some new parts on this car. So keep reminding me before we jump into qualified. Alright. So a good start to the lap actually is a bad start as I lose 1/10 of a second on the straightaway. I think that's the parts. I really do. I think the wear and tear on the engine is affecting my pace at this point. It's also affecting my fuel burn, and that's why I struggled through those programs. And this is not helping at all. I'm much faster than Stroll. The good news is I'm much faster than Stroll, so I'm not looking at like a P20 thing, but well, I finally complete the move, but I end up losing enough time that I went from well ahead to just kind of right about zero. So I could be on my way to a green. We'll see here. Well, corners to go, a lot of oversteer there. I do recover just about. And there's one area where I make up some time, so I'm able to cover that down and get through there without letting off. Ooh, purple! Yes! Alright. Made up enough time there on the final couple corners that I actually ended up getting purple out of that lap. So that's double purple. The fuel management failed, but that's 200 points. 200 points, nice. Okay, power unit. Yeah, look at all those yellows. Okay, so what to do about that? Oh, it's going to take grid penalties. It's going to take grid penalties. If I put all these new parts on. And it's like I need it everywhere. Yeah. Need it everywhere. So, we're going to be starting from the back of the grid.
Okay, let's talk about this track. It's quite a late break into turn 1 because it's uphill. There are a couple of lines through here, so if you're side by side with someone going in there, you can be a bit creative. Just try and make sure you have the inside for T2.
Alright. Well, all new parts going on the car. How's that gearbox looking? That's the practice one. Okay, the gearbox is fine.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of
third.
the top three.
Third
Who
fastest,
are
huh?
Bottas,
Course,
Verstappen, and the
I was
Professor.
like the only one
That
running
concludes an
qualifying
interesting practice
pace.
session.
Bottas was the
Let's
only
hope
other
for
one on
more
ultra
excitement
softs.
as the weekend
But that's
unfolds.
a good sign that I've got some pace. However, it's not going to matter. We're going to start from last, but at least I've got a chance at getting something out of this race. Alright, 255. Not bad, I like that. Team's still upset because I only completed 2 programs, even though they were both purple. Alright, on to qualifying, which is irrelevant as we will be starting from last place on the grid. The only thing I could do is squeeze out a top 5 finish for some potential points for the gaming decathlon.
We're expecting qualifying to start any minute here in Austin, Texas, where drivers will be hoping to top the timesheets today and be ready for tomorrow's US Grand Prix.
Well, let's get to it. This will wrap up this episode. So the race that was in real life this past weekend, is where we leave off this week, and we will open our next episode a week from now at the race that will then be what is this weekend's race. So next week it'll come out again as a last week thing. Not so good through there, but not the worst I've ever done in that rhythm section. Car handled it relatively well, despite me missing a number of apexes. We're still not that far behind Hamilton. And that was good. I got so tight to the apex, I almost hit the bollard. We're getting driven away from here a bit, though, as we don't have the pace of the Mercedes. I ended up missing the apex, broke a bit too late there. Woo! Sliding. Lost the rear end there. Bit off there, but I've actually closed back up on these guys somewhat. This is not looking like top 5 though, and I've had to get off a little bit to get that under control as I missed the initial apex and then dropped further back. So the section where I'm really good ended up not being so good. I lost that little bit of time. It should be an okay qualifying time, but it doesn't matter as I'm going to start 20th. So 15th. That would be okay for the team. However, starting from 20th, we'll see.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind
Hamilton starting
ourselves
on pole.
of our top 3.
Leclerc starting
Who are
16th.
Hamilton, Ricciardo,
And I've got
Valtteri Bottas.
a 60
It's time to leave for
position
now, but we'll
grid
be back
penalty.
tomorrow
So,
when the Grand Prix itself gets under.
and it looks like I'm the only one carrying penalties already.
Amazing performance out there. You must be really happy.
That wasn't amazing, but
Are you happy
thanks.
with where you'll be on the grid tomorrow?
Let's say Arrow.
You had a bit of a rivalry going on, but it looks like he bested you.
His power unit was performing better than mine. There's nothing. His car was performing better today. Nothing I can do. Rep decrease, really?
How's your grid penalty going to affect your strategy going into the race?
It's a spanner in the works, that's for sure. I don't even know what that means, but sure. Oh! What?
Great.
I don't even know what I said. Dang it. Okay, well, let's see if we can at least finish above P20, huh? We'll go ahead and start the wrap up now. We'll see what the results are here momentarily. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey... Oh, whoa. Hit subscribe.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect.
I don't know what just happened. My rep just went down
it's time to
like
see how
fourfold.
this result affects the drivers' championship.
Hamilton gets the win,
The gap at the top
Vettel
of the
second,
championship
Verstappen
has been
third,
cut down
Leclerc gets
after a
16th, I get
difficult race
19th.
today for our championship leader. Now then,
It's
Anthony
Stroll in the
Davidson,
back.
who was your driver of the day?
Leads
Well, I
down to
have
50
give it to
points.
Lewis Hamilton. You know, it was just the kind of drive you'd expect from a multiple world
61
champion.
there.
And now let's take a look
Okay,
at
like I
the
said, that's going to do it for
constructors'
this episode.
standings. We saw a
So,
dip in
I'll see you
form
next
from the
week. Bye for now.
championship leaders today.